Okay, so here's my weekly update on my progress, kind of going towards competing in a bodybuilding competition in the future. I think I mentioned last week that I had come across some videos online of a woman where she is in the process of training to compete, and she had several videos on there that were pre-prep, and so I think that's technically what I'm doing. I'm not working with a coach or anything. I'm just kind of trying to build all the habits and everything that I would need to actually compete. And I feel like this week I've been really successful. And I think I've made a lot of progress, but it hasn't shown up on the scale. So I'm kind of anxious to see if it will show up in my measurements that I'm going to take here in a second. But just in general, I meal prepped last week, and I don't think I showed videos. I'm not sure. I've been bad at filming this week, so I don't actually have anything to share in terms of like a vlog for last week. I was just kind of busy with work and just, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it. It's like the month or two before I just was inspired to film, and then this last week or so I just haven't really felt like it, and so I haven't. But yeah, I'll show you my weight here in a second, but in general, I haven't lost any weight. It's stayed roughly the same. But I also was on my period this week, so I don't know if like that's why. My average calories went down a little bit, just a little bit. Like last week it was 1645, this week it was 1531. And so I would have expected to lose more weight, but I'm wondering if it's because it's my period. So I don't think this next week, I'm not planning to change anything about the diet. I'm planning to kind of keep it at roughly about 1500 calories, I guess, just because that's what's been working and has been easy for me. I've still been doing the second workout. I added a few more reps to my I added some more weight on my deadlifts, and one of the days early on, I did 10 extra deadlifts, straight leg deadlifts, and my legs were pretty sore after that. So it's just, even though I'm not working out very much in these workouts, I'm so glad that I'm taking it slow like this, because if I were to just jump in and start doing like full on workouts, I think I would have just gotten really sore and, you know, maybe not have been as motivated to keep doing them. So I'm glad that I'm starting out this way, kind of slow. I do feel like I've gotten stronger over this past week. I feel a lot more solid, and leaner, like just how I feel, but I don't know that it's showing up visibly. So you'll see here in a second. What else? A couple things. I think I mentioned this last week. So I've been wearing this kind of like posture corrector. And like I said last week, when I was kind of looking online as to whether or not these things work, there were like physical therapists that said no. There was some that said, well, it doesn't hurt and it could be a benefit. And my thought on it was like, I'm sitting in a chair all day slouching. I don't see how this could hurt. And I do feel like it's actually improved my posture even when I'm not wearing it. Because the other side of it, the guy was saying that, well, it's not actually doing anything for you because it's doing all the work. But I do feel like even when I take it off, that my posture is improved. I just feel that way. So I don't know. I'm going to keep wearing this. I've built it kind of into my habit tracker routine of like, putting this on and wearing my heels around the house. That's another thing that's kind of in preparation for competition, is wearing some heels all day. And I'm sitting most of the day, so I'm not on my feet that much. But like the other day when I was meal prepping, I wore them the whole time that I was in the kitchen. And I've just been trying to wear them a little bit more. And I definitely feel like I've gotten more confident in walking in them. So I'm glad that I'm doing that. And then I just kind of like took the plunge and I purchased a practice suit from a company that makes bikinis for bikini competitions. And so I don't know when that'll be in. It'll probably be somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks. And so maybe starting, maybe not next week, but maybe the week after or within the coming weeks, I can start posing in the practice suit instead of my underwear. So that should be coming. But yeah, I'm just trying to take it easy and slow because, like I've said before, I have a tendency to just jump into things head first and burn myself out on them. And so I just want to try to take this slow and not invest too much into it right now until I know that it's something I can do and fit into the rest of my schedule with school and everything. But I'm pretty happy. I feel pretty good about this week. So I will go ahead and move over to this part of my room and take my measurements and see, since my weight hasn't changed, let's see if my measurements have changed. Okay, so I will start with my workout clothes. I've got my heels on, so I'm gonna look a little bit taller right now, but here's how I don't know, I feel like there's a difference, but it may just be that I'm wearing the heels that it looks a little bit different, but I'll take this off so you can compare to last week. So here's the front. I mean, I feel like I look a little bit different, but it might just be that I'm taller. So, let me take off my leggings and so we can get a better view to see if there's been any changes from last week. All right, so let's see how it looks. I don't know if you can see, I had a seed tick, and so I've got like a little tick bite right there, but don't mind that. Okay, so here's the front. I don't know, I think it looks the same every week. And the back. And then kind of the pose. Yeah, I think within the next couple of weeks I am going to practice like the posing because I still don't know the pose, and I'm planning to do a naturals competition just because I am going to be a natural competitor, and also it's the closest one to me. They have one in Northwest Arkansas typically every year, and so I think it'll just be easiest to compete naturals. But yeah, so there's different posing for different, like, I don't even know what you call them. Are they leagues or, you know, whatever? So there's like the NPC and the OCB is the one that I'm thinking of doing, and the posing for those is just a little bit different. So I've been trying to watch some videos to get a feel for what the differences are. But I think I'm going to start out with OCB. I saw a girl that had done both, and so I don't know. We'll see within the next couple of years what I decide to do. But okay, for the measurements, my roommate seemed to think that my chest got bigger last week, but I'm thinking it might just be that my posture has been a little bit better, because I was wearing that posture corrector, so it kind of like pushes my chest out a little bit more, but also I don't think it's shrunk, so we'll see. Last week around my band it was 32 and a half. This week it is, I can't see, let me just hold it here and see where my fingers are. Yeah, it's about 32 and a half still. Don't feel like there's been much change up there. Sometimes I can tell a difference in how my bras fit. Like whenever I lose weight, I tend to gain and lose in my chest, and my bras will feel like tighter or looser. They feel pretty tight this week, so, or about normal, so I don't think I've lost any in my chest. So last week it was, what was it? 37 3/4. This week it's sitting pretty close here at 37 1/2. So maybe just a little bit. Okay, so for my waist, last week I was 34 1/4. My tick bite. This week it's sitting at, I think, 34 1/2. So maybe just a little bit around my waist. And then for my hips, it was 42 1/4 last week. Did my hips get bigger? Now it's like 40, in between 43. Maybe I did it wrong last week. Am I measuring it different? Yeah, I mean, it's like 43. So maybe I did my measurements wrong last week. I think this is where I've been doing them, so I'm gonna mark down 43. So 34 1/2 and 43. And then yeah, for my thighs last week, they had gotten bigger. So we'll see. So I've been starting at my knee crease, go up 6 inches, go around. Uh-oh. Oh, it's getting twisted. Sorry. All right. Okay, and it's back to 22. Okay, no, my thighs had lost last week. I was 23 2 weeks ago, 22 3/4 last week, and now it's 22. Is that right? Make sure. What is wrong today? Come on. There we go. Around. Okay, no, it's about 22 1/2. So I did lose just a little bit. It was 22 3/4 last week. Now it's 22 1/2. And I do feel like they're getting pretty solid. I don't know about my core. I feel like my core is getting a lot more solid because I've added in and my routine at night. So I do a 1-minute plank in the morning. I've been doing that for months now. And so I've added in another minute plank at night. And so that's doing a little bit of core work. And then yeah, I've been doing yoga too. I don't know if I mentioned that. Like the last 2 Saturdays I've been doing a yoga class, and this one, like on my arms and my core, it was a hard one. It's a beginner class, but it's been like over a year since I've been to yoga, and so even the beginner class is a little bit tough. But if you've never done yoga, I would totally recommend it just for working muscles that you wouldn't typically work in the gym, because there's just all these like little stabilizer muscles and just like, yeah, just things that you don't normally think of. So I'm gonna try to do yoga once a week and work that in on Saturdays. But yeah, I mean, not a whole lot of change, but like I feel different. So I don't know, I'm just gonna stick with this for another week or two and just see. I'm going to stick with the same diet, the same workout. I may increase like the weights or the reps on my workouts, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with right now just building these habits and everything. So I will get on my phone and just kind of walk you through my fitness pal and everything real quick, and just show you what I've been tracking this week. Okay, so here is the opening page of my Fitbit. I've been getting my steps in every day. I have a goal set. You can go in and let me turn my fan off real quick. You can go in and set whatever step goal you want. I had started out several months ago with 10,000, but that was hard for me to hit consistently, even going to the gym and walking for an hour. So I reduced it to something that was more reasonable. And so typically I'll hit about 6,500 steps walking for an hour at the gym, and then I'm easily able to get the other 500 throughout the day. So that's been my goal. And you can see I've hit, it looks like Saturday I got over 10,000, but most of the days it's around 8,000 or 9,000. And then my sleep has been great. I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. And you can see for most nights I get that or get pretty close. And I think that's been helpful too. Look, I go to bed at like 8 o'clock. Like, I think most nights my bedtime, 8:04, 8:12, 8:15, 8:50. Yeah, typically somewhere, it looks like it's been between 8 or 9 o'clock every night. So I go to bed really early. But I actually really like it. Like, I love being up early before everyone else is, and the only way to really do that is to go to bed super early. So I've been staying consistent at waking up before 5 a.m. for the most part. But here is the weight. So last Sunday I was 155.9. So I was like, okay, great, I'm breaking down into the 155s. But then it's just kind of like gone up and down all week, and so I don't know what the deal is. And then yesterday I was down into 155 again, but up 156 this morning. So I don't know, I'm not too worried about it for now. I feel good, like I said, and I'm just gonna stick to what I've been doing consistently. And then when I am more ready to compete, then I will start adjusting maybe my diet and my workouts and things like that. So here's the dashboard of my Fitness Pal. Here are my calories for the last week. So it looks like it ranges from about 1321 to 1808, and the average is about 1500. So I put in a goal, I think, to lose I think my goal is like to hit 140 pounds. And so my Fitness Pal will calculate how many calories I need to meet that goal. And so my calorie goal, based on what my Fitness Pal logs, is that I would need to eat less than 1,920 calories. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm eating less than that on average, and I'm not really losing weight. So at least not this week. So I'm just going to stick to it. I feel like I would have to lose weight, at some point too, if I'm sticking with 1,500 calories. Like, I think this week might just be a combination of me building muscle from adding on the extra workout, and possibly, being on my period or whatever. This is what a typical meal looked like for me. So I have black coffee in the morning. I have some pre-workout just because it has caffeine in it and it kind of wakes me up. The actual serving on the pre is 2 scoops, but I just do 1. And I've got a multivitamin. And then for lunch, it's usually a late lunch. I log it into the lunch section, but it's typically like somewhere between 3 and 5 that I have really my first meal of the oatmeal. Just because I don't really get that hungry during the day, but typically I try to wait until about 3 o'clock and then about an hour later do my workout, my second workout. But yeah, so I've got the oats, and I've had flaxseed and peanut butter powder and mixed berries and some protein powder. And then for dinner, my roommate has been cooking these steaks that he bought, but I'm not actually doing that this week. The reason I was eating the steak was just because he doesn't hardly ever finish his food. And so he was giving me 4 ounces of his steak. Well, I guess some days I had 8 ounces, and he was wanting to eat them up because he was wanting to finish it off. And so this week when we went shopping, he didn't buy more steak. And so I'm actually switching over to some plant-based proteins. And so I'm going to be switching that up next week. I've got some Beyond Meat patties and some Impossible sausage links that I'm going to be having for my dinner protein. And then I've got lots of fruit. I change up the fruit. That's where the calories kind of change, is either the amount of steak that he makes for me, or the fruits that I eat. So I'm out of peaches this week. I don't think I actually have any oranges. But this was just all the ingredients that I put in this big salad that I've been making. And then I have this quinoa bowl that I was eating the week before. But now I've just been, instead of eating the quinoa itself, I've been throwing it on top of this big salad with olives and things like that. And then I'll have some steamed vegetables. And so that's just my meals that I've been eating every day. And then, oops, I put in the wrong workout, I think. So, and typically I'll try to remember to log 2 workouts. And so one of them, okay, so my daily workout, that's the one in the morning, that one that, has 234 calories. And then this easy start is the one that I've got for my evening workout. And so I've just got like my minute plank. I've got 2 types of deadlifts, push-ups on my knees, and then I've been doing Bulgarian split squats. I've actually upped it from 5 reps on each leg to 10 reps on each leg. And then I try to do a dead hang and then a full push-up for 5 reps. But I've actually been doing 10 reps of the full push-up. So I'm trying to kind of increase this just a little bit, but still keep it simple enough that I'm still able to do it at night. So actually, let me fix that real quick and log that. And I haven't really been, like, it asks you for, like, what time you do it, but I'm just, like, lazy, so I just put whatever time is there usually. I'm not, like, the thing that's kept me tracking is not being super perfectionist about it. Like, I don't know, here, this organic peach, this says Trader Joe's organic peach. I don't have a Trader Joe's here, but I just looked up, I had some organic peaches from Walmart. I just looked up organic peach and picked whatever one, because I figure the calories will be about the same. Just for now, just to keep me in the habit of doing it and not get too overwhelmed with doing it. I've also started, I'll show you here in a second. Okay, so I listened to a podcast of this vegan bodybuilder, and she was talking about how, about BCAAs and EAAs. And I actually did have some BCAA powder. I'll show you here in a second. And so she thinks it's pretty important. She uses it. It's one of the few supplements that she recommends. And so I figured since I have it, I'm going to start taking some BCAAs. And I also got online. She's been taking EAAs, which are, so the BCAAs are branched chain amino acids, and and there's like, I think 5, I don't know. I should do more research into it. But there's like, that covers like a few of the amino acids that you would need. And then the EAAs are like all of your essential amino acids. And so I ordered some of that. So whenever I get that in, I'll finish this BCAAs that I have and start with those EAAs. But yeah, so I don't know. This is probably boring, but there's my update on my tracking that I've done. And yeah, so let me hop on and kind of wrap things up. Okay, so there's my update. Not a lot of measurable changes, but I definitely feel different, and I'm gonna just keep going with it. I've already got all of my food prepped, so this week, like, meals should be easy. And that's one thing, like, I don't know. Meal prepping makes things so much easier as long as I set aside the time once a week to meal prep, because there has been a couple of days where I've been hungry and I wanted to get like snacks or something, but I'm like, well, no, I've got my meals prepped, so just eat that. And I think another thing that it's helped too is like I'll tell myself, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of videos about like diet culture and things like that, and a lot of people say when you try to restrict yourself and this and that, and so people are just like not restricting themselves at all. And I think there is something to that, like restricting yourself makes things harder. And so I guess the way I've gotten around it is like, okay, I've already got these meals planned, and so it's kind of like, instead of telling myself I can't have certain things, what I do is like, well, let me eat what I already have planned, because it's easy to track because I've already got all this stuff in my tracker. And then if I'm still hungry and if I still want something else, then I can eat it. And I've not felt like eating, once you eat all the food that you have planned, for me, I haven't been hungry for other food outside of that. So it's been easier for me to do the meal tracking, at least for now. I don't know. Sometimes things are super easy for me sometimes, and then like a week later, I struggle with it. So I'm saying this now. I'm saying that it's really easy. The fasting was the same way. There was one week that it was like super easy and I loved it. And then like 2 weeks later, I was really struggling with it. So I don't know. As of right now, I'm pretty happy with my meal prepping. I am starting to get tired of the salad. And so I think I may switch up the lettuce that I'm using for some noodles, because I bought some like Thai noodles. So I may switch it up a little bit like that, but so far so good. I've already got the quinoa bowls prepped. I've already got my oatmeal bowls prepped with all the powders and everything measured out. And so that should be good. I did take some videos week before last of me meal prepping, so I think I am gonna, if I can go back and find those, I think I will clip them onto here so you can see kind of like how I've been meal prepping and getting it ready. But yeah, but here are the BCAAs that I've been taking. I've just been doing a scoop, and this is a vegan version because I think some aren't vegan. And then this is the pre-workout. I think I've showed this before, but this is probably my favorite brand so far of pre-workout, and then also protein powder. So I was using the protein powder that I'm using this week and that I have been using is from Holier, and I just used it all up and I threw away the package, so I don't have that to show you, but it's okay. But I went ahead whenever I ordered the EAAs that I'm getting in. I ordered a bag of protein powder from Veg, and I've had their protein powder before, and I like it. They've got 3 flavors, I think. They've got like a chocolate peanut butter cup and a vanilla, and then they've got this coffee flavor. I didn't like the coffee flavor at all. Like I thought it was really gross. Maybe an oatmeal, it would be okay, but I definitely know that I like their vanilla flavor and their chocolate flavor. I think I ordered vanilla. I can't remember, but so far the Veg has been my favorite vegan protein and pre-workout. So I think I'm gonna stick with that. Even though I like Holier for like that's the brand of multivitamin that I take in the morning. I love their multivitamins. I just wasn't like super in love with the protein powder wasn't bad, but if I remember right, I think I like the Veg better. So it's been a while since I have it, so we'll see whenever I get it in and I start using it in my meals next week if I prefer it over the Holier. So I'm still playing around with what I'm using and what I like, but overall I want to try to not use too many supplements, but I know if I'm going to try to do this vegan, which is the goal, is to ultimately get plant-based, fully plant-based, then I am, probably going to have to supplement at the very least with protein. So yeah, let me see if I can find some video clips that seem relevant, and I will clip those onto the end. Otherwise, I'll be back. I still can't decide when I want to post, if I want to post these on Sunday or Monday. Today's Labor Day and I'm off work, so it was easy for me to kind of push this off to Monday, but we'll see. So either next Sunday or next Monday, I will have another update, and hopefully there'll be some visible, measurable changes. But if not, we'll just keep playing around with things and see what I need to do. But yeah, so have a good week. Okay, so like I said, this week I'm going to try to meal prep and meal plan and just kind of eat what I have planned instead of just kind of like playing it by ear. So I think what I'm gonna do is I wanna have oatmeal and berries at around 2 o'clock because I typically tend to just naturally intermittent fast. So I think I'm gonna wait to eat until about 2 o'clock and have some oatmeal and berries and hope that that doesn't make me tired. We'll try it out and see how it feels. Because what my roommate said that he's found for him is that if he eats about an hour and a half before he works out, something like with high carbs, that it makes his workout better. And he has like the energy to do the workout. So I'm gonna do that and then plan to work out around 4:30. And I've just kind of thought of a quick little workout that I want to do of just some moves that I want to start doing. I think I'm going to do deadlifts. Is it Romanian, Bulgarian? Split squats. I can't remember. Bulgarian split squats. And push-ups. And then I want to do a dead hang. And I think that's all I'm going to do. So just try starting out with those 3 and then have a protein shake afterwards and then have what I'm gonna cook. And so my roommate actually has some leftover meat in the fridge that it was a kind that he doesn't like, and so he's gonna cook those for me at night. And then I'll show you, I got some steamed vegetables and some other stuff, so I'll show you what I have for the rest of the week. So a couple of the days I'm gonna have the leftover meat that he has, but then I also got some Beyond Burger patties and then some of these Impossible just to have some protein for the days that I don't have the steak. And then for the days that I do have the steak and when I eat that, I went ahead, I know like I hate all the packaging, but this will just be so much easier. I got these little steam bags. In the future, I want to not buy it like this, but for now, I'm gonna have a bag of these steamed vegetables with the meat or with the Beyond Meat. And then I also thought that I plugged that into MyFitnessPal and it didn't have a whole lot of calories if I were to just eat that. So I thought I might make a quinoa bowl, and I've got some quinoa up here somewhere. I know I've got a couple of containers of quinoa back here. Yeah, that's like quinoa and rice. Anyway, I got some quinoa, so I think I'm gonna make just like a quinoa bowl. And so I'm gonna cook that, and then I'm also gonna put a can of chickpeas. And then I also thought, I just kind of like picked up some things that I thought might be good in a quinoa bowl. So I got some olives, some sliced olives, black olives, mushrooms I thought might be good, so artichoke hearts, avocado, cucumber, some tomatoes, and some peppers, and an onion. So I'm gonna prep all that. I'm gonna prep just like a big bowl, like a huge quinoa bowl tonight, so that I can just eat out of that as like a side with my dinner. Or maybe if I get hungry earlier in the day, maybe I'll eat that. And then I just got a little bit of fruit. I got some oranges, and the plums sounded good, so I thought I'd give those a try. Oh, and I'm also gonna put some peanut butter in my oatmeal just to give me a little bit of fat and protein with that. So yeah, I'm gonna prep some of this stuff tonight and see how it goes. Okay, so my plan here was to weigh out my oats for 7 days and put it in these containers just to have them in my cabinet so I can pull it out and, you know, throw it in the microwave. But I don't think I have enough oats for that. So we'll see how many I can get filled, and then I'll just have to go to the store and get some oats. Okay, so this says a half cup is 40 grams, so this is based on 40 grams, and like I've said in other videos, a half cup like doesn't really always equal the amount that's on there. So if you want to be precise, it's best to weigh it. And so I've got this little digital scale, and so Okay, so that's at 0 with my container on top already. And so I'm just gonna pour in until we have 40 grams. Okay, so this was a half cup, and see, that's clearly a little bit over 40 grams if I were to just go with that. So there's one, we'll go to the next one. And so these bowls weigh different, so I'll tare it. And so now it's back to 0. And then I'll weigh out 40 grams. Okay, so we got a little bit left there. So I'm gonna keep doing this for the other 5 bowls, and hopefully I have enough oats to fill them all up. Okay, so I had enough for 4, so I'll need to go get some more oats to prep those other, but I'll at least be prepped for 4 days. I'm also gonna go ahead and put some ground flaxseed in it just because I'm trying to eat mostly vegan, and flaxseed has, I think, omegas that you can't really get from non-vegan food or from vegan food. And I actually, when I was making this before, I think I liked the texture that this kind of helped make the oatmeal since I'm just making it with water. And so I'm just gonna put the serving in here in each one, which is 2 tablespoons. And so again, that's 14 grams. So I'm gonna put each of these on the scale again and weigh it and tear it out and then put this in. And this is the same thing, even though it says 2 tablespoons. Here, I've got 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and it's only 11 grams, but the serving size is 14 grams. So I'm gonna put just a little bit more till it says, okay, now it says 14. So that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of the bowls. Okay, and the next thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and measure out the amount that I need of berries that I'm gonna put with my oatmeal, and I'm just gonna keep this separate in the fridge. And so with this little pack, each serving is 140 grams. And so I'm just measuring out 140 grams in this little glass container. And I've got a ton of these from when I was meal prepping before. They're just like the Pyrex containers from Walmart. So I'm just doing the same thing, just taking the container. And we'll see, because this bag has 2 servings. So we'll see if like the 2 servings is truly gonna be 140 grams each. Yeah, so that was 140 grams, and then this is a little bit over, so I don't know. It doesn't have to be totally perfect, so I'm just gonna keep it well. Okay, that's about even. And so I'm gonna do, I've got another bag, so I'm just gonna split this up into 2 so I have it on my 4 oatmeals. Okay, so one more thing I'm gonna add to this is this powdered peanut butter. I was gonna put real peanut butter in it, but I had this in my pantry, and I think this will just be easier to put it in with the rest of this stuff. So a serving is 2 tablespoons or 12 grams. So I'm gonna just tear it and add it in here. So that is 8 grams. Oh, that was way too much. Well, good enough. I put 15 in on accident. I'll have to be more careful with the rest, but I'm gonna add these to the rest of them. Okay, so I think the last thing I'm gonna like prep out is some protein powder. So I'm planning to do that second workout, and so I'm gonna have a protein shake afterwards. And I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna weigh out the serving. And I've got a bunch of these little cups to put those in. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Same thing as I did before, just with this protein powder. Okay, so I massively misjudged how much 43 grams is, because this is only like 11 grams. So I'm not gonna be able to fit it in this cup, but I do have these other glass containers that are a little bit bigger, and I think it should hold it. So I will tear that and then see if I can fit the 42 grams in here. Yeah, it should fit. It's 33, 36, 40, 43, take a little bit back, 42. So yeah, these little small Pyrex containers will hold the 42 grams for my protein shake, so I don't have to weigh it out every day. Okay, so I've got a cup of quinoa cooking. I'm hoping that's enough. Maybe 2 cups would be better, but I'm starting out with a cup, and then I'm gonna prep all these vegetables, and I'm just gonna mix it all together with the quinoa and eat it as like a cold bowl throughout the week. So I've got a red onion, got bell pepper, I've got these grapes, cucumbers, and avocados. And so I'm gonna chop those up. And then I've also got the cans of stuff that I'm just gonna throw in. And I don't know, I've got to try to figure out how to do the servings. I think I'm gonna throw everything into a bowl, mix it together, see how many like small bowls of this all mixed together I can make, and then put it in my Fitness Pal and just divide each of these by how many I can make, if that makes sense. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I've got all of my quinoa cooked. So this is what a cup of dry quinoa turns out to be. So actually quite a bit. And then I chopped up, the onion looked like a lot, so I just did half of a red onion. And then this might be quite a bit of bell pepper, but I did 2 whole bell peppers. I think I probably just need 1. And then my roommate chopped up those cherry tomatoes, and he's chopping up some cucumber. And then I'm going to do a can of these olives and these olives. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna go with that and some chickpeas. And then whenever I eat it, I may cut some avocado and add to it. But I think this is what I'm gonna go with for now. So I think this is gonna be a nice little, it looks pretty. And then, yeah, I'm gonna add this canned stuff in here, and then I'm gonna divvy it up between some little bowls, and hopefully I can get 7 bowls out of it. All right, so I mixed everything up in a big bowl and put it in these 7 little containers. So this will be kind of something else I'll eat during the week. And I ended up not putting the mushrooms or the artichokes in, but we'll see how I put it into my Fitness Pal.